So we already know that momentum is equal to the mass of an object times its velocity. And to shorten this, we can simply use the letter p. So p is equal to the momentum of an object. And now we're going to introduce a new kind of concept called impulse. And impulse causes a change in momentum. And just like momentum has a shortened version, which is just p, we say impulse's shortened version is a capital J. Don't ask me why they chose J, but I know that they already used I for something else, which we're going to learn later. So impulse is equal to J, and it can cause a change in momentum, which change in is of course delta p. But what really is impulse? Well, let's take a look at it this way. So we know that Newton's second law is force equals mass times acceleration. And we also know that acceleration, by definition, is equal to displacement over the amount of time that's passed. Well, we see that acceleration is common in both of these expressions. And so if we solve for acceleration in both, we get force over mass equals acceleration, and this is already solved out for acceleration. So since this is equal to acceleration and this is equal to acceleration, then we can put both of these quantities equal to each other. And so force over mass is equal to the change in velocity over the change in time. And if we cross multiply both of them, we get force times the change in time is equal to mass times the change in velocity. And look at that, we have mass times the change in velocity, which is basically mv, or the change in momentum. Because remember, in a closed system, an object can't really change its mass, since mass is neither created nor destroyed unless some mass is transferred to it. And so we could basically say that m delta v is equal to delta p, or the change in momentum. Since we said earlier that the change in momentum is the impulse, then impulse is equal to the force exerted over a period of time. And so think about it this way. If we had a ball rolling at a constant velocity on this surface, so it's going at, let's say, 5 meters per second, and its mass is 1 kilogram, then I position my hand so that I exert a force on it, and over time it slows down and then it eventually stops, then that would mean that I would be exerting an impulse on it that is equal to the mass times velocity at the beginning is going to be 1 kilogram times 5 meters per second, which is equal to 5 kilogram meters over a second. And so the impulse that I would be exerting on it to get it to stop would have to equal negative 5 kilogram meters over seconds, because the initial momentum plus any impulses exerted on it would equal the final momentum. And so if it started out with an initial momentum of 5 kilogram meters over second, and I subtract 5 kilogram meters over second from the impulse I exert on it by holding my hand here, then that's going to equal a momentum of 0. And so don't forget the impulse, which is J, is equal to a force exerted over an amount of time, and this equals the change in momentum.